Wow, look at this crowd today. Welcome. Welcome to Brokhaven. And thank you so much for being here on this auspicious occasion to unveil the young girl's statue of peace. By establishing this memorial, we raise the awareness of ongoing problems of sexual and human trafficking that's taking place in the metro area and the world today. Brokhaven is now going to be the first city in the state of Georgia and in the Deep South that publicly commit to the Comfort Women Memorial. And we encourage other cities to join us in the strong public stance against human trafficking worldwide. We hope that visitors reflecting on this historic monument over here will consider how to recognize and speak out about these crimes that are occurring today. So this is historic, both in a memorial historic and in this occasion today. And so it's not all about the past. It is about the future. And that's what these monuments are about.
이 소녀상이 인권 문제라는 이슈로 전 세계 여러 곳에 세워지길 바라는 마음에서 부족하지만 열심히 하겠습니다. I dedicate this song to anybody who fights for freedom and human rights, and really appreciate that city of Brokhaven. And Grandma Kang is here. She could be anybody's grandmother, and she's a victim of horrific crime during war. She's still fighting, and I'm really honored to sing a song for her. 바람이 불어오는 곳 그곳으로 가네 그대의 머릿결 같은 남 아래로 덜컹이는 기차에 기대어 너에게 편지를 쓴다 꿈에 보았던 길 그 길에 서 있네 설렘과 두려움으로 불안한 행복이지만 우리가 느끼며 바라본 하늘과 사랑들 힘겨운 날들도 있지만 새로운 꿈들을 위해 바람이 불어오는 곳 그곳으로 가네 햇살이 눈부신 곳 그곳으로 가네 바람에 내 몸 맡긴 곳 그곳으로 가네
I find it cosmically ironic that just as the girls and women who were enslaved found it difficult to find their home, this statue had her own challenges. But through the struggle to find a home, we are able to shine a brighter light on the tragedy of the past and those who would deny it. To the young girl and to those who suffered, I say welcome to Brokhaven. Welcome home. Thank you.
Deuteronomy tells us not to forget, but to remember, and to tell our children and our children's children what we know, what we've seen, and what we've learned, lest we forget. This memorial gives us the opportunity to do so here in Brokhaven. So I would just like to take this opportunity to thank the Comfort Women's Memorial Task Force for giving Brokhaven this opportunity to teach our children. Thank you.
This girl symbolized a woman who was referred to as comfort woman. These women were treated as sex slaves by the Japanese military before the during World War II. Most of these women died or were killed during the war. Contrary to some accusations, we are not politically active who are motivated by certain political gains. And this is not about Korea against Japan. Many victims were from Korea, but there were many others from China, Taiwan, the Philippines, Manila, and Indonesia. At least from 13 Asian Pacific countries. Only by remembering and acknowledge the historical truth, we can move forward to eradicate sexual violence and human trafficking in our community, both local and global. Let us remember the truth about comfort woman. We will hear their crying, and we will not forget. We will continue to teach the truth so they will never be forgotten by doing so. We strive to build a world where there is no unconscionable violation of human rights. Thank you.
나는 대한민국의 경상북도 내 고향입니다. 경상북도. 그랬는데 끌고 어디로 갔는가 하면 중국으로 갔습니다. 중국으로 가가지고 또 저 미국 사람이랑 다 합해가지고 나를 또 어디로 보냈는가 하면 저 회장소로 가가지고 역사 문제를 우리 대한민국을 일본 놈이 침략했습니다.
I was born in Sangju, Gyeongsang-bukdo, Gyeongsang province in South Korea. And the place I was taken by force by Japanese was China. Japanese rounded up many girls and took us to China. That was the time when Korea was under Japanese invasion and occupation.
그런데 지금에 와서는 어디 와서 있는가 하면 중국으로 끌려왔다가 한국으로 경상북도 상주에 못 가서 그 다음에는 해방되고도 중국에 있었습니다. 중국 저 대통령이랑 중국에서 살아도 괜찮다고 안 가도 한국에 경상북도로 안 가도 된다고 그래서 이때까지 경상북도 안 가고 중국의 길림시에서 내가 국가간부로 있습니다. 길림시에서. 그래 역사 문제가 있기 때문에 내가 중국에서 살고 역사 문제를 종정하게 말하고 우리 국민들이 알게끔 했습니다. 여러분들은.
So, after I was taken to China, I lived all my life in China because I was not able to come back to Korea, to my hometown Sangju in Gyeongsang province. I didn't have a means to come back to Korea after the war. So even after the war ended, I was allowed to live in China. So I spent all my life in China, in Jilin province, and I worked for the hospital that I became a government officer in hospital. But even as I was living in China, I wanted to let people know about this historical issue, that I wanted to talk to people about what happened to me during the war.
그렇게 가지고 지금까지 어디에 있는가 하면 저 중국의 길림시 저 가서 있습니다. 그랬는데 국가간부로 돼가지고 있습니다. 역사 문제를 무슨 일이 있으면 종종이 말하게 됩니다. 일본과 저 일본 사람이 같이 해가지고 우리를 끌고 중국까지 갔다가 내 고향은 경상북도 상주입니다. 남한에. 그랬는데 이때까지 못 가고 내가 길림시에 있습니다. 길림시에서 종종 역사 문제를 말하게 되고 했습니다.
So the place I lived in China was Jilin province, and there I worked and I became a government officer, and there were some occasions and opportunities that I could bring up these historical issues. That it was Japanese people that took us away to China by force. That I did not get a chance to go back to my hometown, Sangju. So till now, I stayed in China until very recently.
예. 예. 소녀상을 씌워줘서 우리 같은 천하 사람을 일본 놈이 끌고 갔어. 사람이라 인간이 고급동물이라 끌고 중국으로 갔어. 내가 지금 중국 길림시 병원에서 있습니다. 병원에서 나도 국가간부가 돼가지고 있는데 그렇지만 일본 놈들이 알고 있는지 모르고 있는지 몰라요. 개털은 끌고 갔어요. 일본대. 강제로 처녀 공출이라고 끌고 갔어. 중국으로 끌어다 놨어. 내 고향은 경상북도 상주, 경상북도 상주래요. 감 대추 많은 집에, 우리 집에서 부잣집인데도 끌고 갔어, 중국으로. 그래, 중국에서 또 안 나오고 나를 써먹는 거야.
So what happened to me is that I was one of those girls and people who were dragged by Japanese people, just like dog or animal, not like person, to China. Although I came from a affluent family in Sangju, Gyeongsang province, that my family had a orchard with a lot of date trees and persimmon trees. However, it didn't matter. They still took me away like a dog. And I don't know if Japanese people are aware of this historical issue or not. But now you are building this memorial of the girl statue here. It is truly amazing.
그리고 지금도 예.
말씀하세요.
지금도 중국 정부에서 내 국가간부로 돼가지고 돈을 주고 합니다. 예, 감사합니다. 중국에서 사람들이 참 그거 해요. 예, 미국 사람들이 많은 그걸 후원을 해줘서 감사합니다. 나는 내가 이 세상을 떠나도 미국 사람이랑 안 잊어버립니다. 감사합니다. 이게 도움이 돼서. 너무 고맙고 감사합니다. 우리 동포들도 감사합니다.
I am still all attention from Chinese government because of the work I did in China, but I am deeply grateful for what you're doing in the United States and to recognize this history. And I will have this, gratitude until the day I pass away. And I really want to thank again for Korean Americans for what you're doing. And thank you, United States.
I was born in the Philippines when World War II was just beginning in 1940. I wanted to know what was happening during the tender years that I was growing up. It was, needless to say, overbearing. I have memories of bombing, marching soldiers, killings, atrocities being committed all over the country. There was disorder in order. As such, I have read many books about World War II, especially regarding the war in Europe and in Asia. The atrocities, killings, tortures, and random lawlessness of so-called civilized nations and human beings. At this day and age, it is difficult to comprehend how such things can happen. But they did happen and continue to happen at this very present moment. There's so many atrocities killed in concentration camps all over the world, the medical experiments done on human beings, the killings of young children and infants, the rape and slavery of so many women for the benefit of those involved in those wars. We must not forget, and we will not forget. Today, there continues to be a massive violation of human rights and human trafficking. It continues to be a growing industry in the world that affects all levels of civilization. However, the good news is that we are aware of it. We are doing something about it. And all nations that were at war during our world wars and various civil wars have started a new era of peace and understanding. Let us continue to this benevolent path of forgiveness, peace, and genuine love amongst all of us and all the people of the world. I thank you for inviting me today, and my sympathies are for the people who were abused in the years past in the dark history of human beings. Thank you very much.
You hear the rain? It is as if God were crying over the brokenheartedness, the destruction of human beings that were trafficked during World War II. Ms. King, God sees our pain. God sees our hurt. And I'm sure He's disappointed when others of us fail to stand up to injustice. We try our best to understand what happened to her, let alone hundreds of thousands of women. It takes courage to stand up against injustice. And I salute you, Mr. Mayor, and this council for the courage that you have to place this monument in this park today. Today, we are here to acknowledge the great harm done to girls and women between 1931 and the end of the war in 1945. It was institutionalized human trafficking regardless of why it was done. Tens of thousands of girls and women were deceived, taken to remote locations, and forced to have sex with hundreds and thousands of men. Listen to the account of one girl in the book, Can You Hear Us? She said, yes, the middleman in the marketplace came to me and took me to his office. There, the master asked how old I was. I said 14. And then they talked in a whisper. Well, it seems like she's too young for this. They kept talking in a whisper. There were 5 girls in the train, and the middleman gave me a ride there to get on the train. The girls were big, and some of them looked adult-like. They asked me, are you going to Manchuria too? I said, yes, I am. My friends, these girls and women were in a desperate situation, in a desperate time, and they were taken advantage of. They were pressed into a hellish service that no one should ever have to endure. In this book, which I recommend that you purchase and read, you can see how their lives and their health was ruined. Not everyone survived. It will make you weep. I'm here today not just to remember what happened to Miss Kang and the women decades ago, but to tell you in our very city today that there are desperate girls who are being deceived and forced into hellish service. The masters are different, the perpetrators are different, but it is exactly the same thing, and we must stand against it. This memorial is a gentle reminder that we need to protect the most innocent in our society. We need to ensure, and I look at the chief here when I say this, we need to ensure that those who would deceive a child, sell a child, addict a child to drugs, and ruin their life through human trafficking, that they are arrested and locked away in prison for the rest of their life. So as we unveil this monument today, we remember. I hope you'll join me in reminding every public official that you meet that human trafficking happens around us in Atlanta, Georgia. Would you join me in bringing healing to the many whose lives and health are being destroyed in our community? God bless you, ma'am. God bless the Brookhaven City Council for your courage, and may God bless our effort to rid this state of human trafficking.
Again, thank you, Commissioner Eccles. Stole my line about the rain, by the way. But I'm glad someone else was able to say it. Helps wash away the history. Tears of God helps wash away. And may we wash it away.
While sex trafficking is a global issue, this problem hits very close to home. As the mayor pointed out, Atlanta has been cited as the sex trafficking capital of the world, bringing in a revenue of nearly $300 million over a 5-year period, which is 1.5 times the revenue of illegal drug and gun sales. In Georgia, 28,000 adolescent girls are sexually exploited every year, and each month 7,200 men end up exploiting an adolescent female. And this is just in Georgia. The average age of girls exploited is 12 to 14, and we must not forget young boys are also exploited, and their ages are 11 to 13. In 2008, I was appointed to a Senate subcommittee regarding commercial sexual trafficking of children to recommend changes in some of our criminal laws and assist with the trauma caused by the victims of sex trafficking. This was under the leadership of Senator Renee Unterman. I soon learned that one major problem here was that most people don't realize what's going on, especially in the suburbs where we're located right now. We've had numerous cases and arrests within our own city of Brookhaven, which most people don't realize. In 2014, the city of Brookhaven became the first city in Georgia to sign the Not Buying It Pledge. That means we do everything in our power to recognize the signs of sex trafficking, and we work hard to prevent it. We also work hard to educate our public, to create awareness. Our department has hosted a number of awareness screenings of 8 days. If you ever get a chance, you need to see that. It's a film inspired. The producer and director of the film actually, his sister was a victim of sex trafficking. The film inspired by real life sex trafficking events. Those screenings are followed by a panel discussion, which we usually have Director Vernon Keenan from GBI and some federal agency heads coming, and we have a panel discussion to explain what's going on, what the problem is, and how we could solve it. We always have a large turnout, and that's very encouraging to us. So for us and for you, it starts here. I urge you to stay alert, and if you see something that you think is off, say something. Call the police department where you live, call 911. We want to stop this problem too. My hope is that this monument, while its history is rooted in World War II, serves as a reminder that this problem is right here at home and it's far from over. So, thank you.
Thank you so much to Kong Il Truo for being here today, for telling your story, for being the historical, or to be the person that survived and to be able to tell your story. Again, as always, a historical reminder of events that are occurring today. This area, as most of you guys know who live in this area, went through a very contentious congressional race. Lots of money was spent on it. It's all talked about. This issue is not an issue of a Korean American or a Korean issue or a Japanese issue or a Filipino issue or a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. It's a human rights issue. We're all one people. We all came in this world. We're all going to leave this world. Doesn't mean a hill of beans, most of the stuff we talk about. But this is what really matters. So again, thank everyone for being here. I'm glad so much. We had a great crowd that you guys all stood way back there, out there in the rain. Thanks so much. And we're about now to unveil the statue. So we're going to have some logistical things that Burke is going to deal with real quick. But it's time to unveil a little bit of history. Thanks so much.
Everybody together on the count of three. Together. 1, 2, 3. Give yourselves a big round of applause. That was very, very good. 비치세요. Okay.
나 좀 가야 돼. 하나님이 나오고. Okay.